We're gonna do some. We're gonna do some lotro. Yeah. Yark. Theoretically, assuming the internet doesn't decide to go, which you never know. Alright, we are out on Discord, Facebook, Twitter. My god, that was bright. Alright, I need my phone. What's up, folks? Alright, get this open for chat stuff. Alright, should be good to go. Oh, why are my glasses here? Do I need my glasses? I really don't need my glasses today, but I might as well wear them for a few hours. Blue light protection never hurts. Alright, well technically we've wrapped up that quest to go to... But I don't think... Have we entirely wrapped up? I can't remember if we've entirely wrapped up the Shire or not. I feel like... I can't remember if there's anything else we need to do here. Haul it in Bywater. By the way, am I blind or is my... Oh, I remember what it was. There was a... I was missing a pie. Where was I going? I was going to Woodhall, that's what it was. There's a pie I'm missing to complete the Shire. I remember that. And we got kicked off because the internet failed the other day. So fingers crossed the internet doesn't crash again. We'll see. I'm pretty sure it's Woodhall. There were some other locations I could check. I want to do the Yondershire, so I'm pretty sure I have a Yondershire quest, but it's level 20. So I'll need to do some other things before I start the Yondershire content. Can I get to Woodhall from here? This is technically leading to somebody's farm, not to Woodhall. I do not need my glasses today. I don't mind wearing those when I have my hat on, but the glare from the light above me does not work when I'm wearing those glasses without the hat. I don't actually need glasses, those are just blue light protection. Alright, is there a pie here that I missed? I don't see any pie that I missed. Son of a bitch. Where am I gonna go? Alright, I'm gonna have to look up the pies. List of rotten pies, Lotro. No place for spoiled pies, spoiler. I did the Brockenbroins one. Budgeford? Alright, while we're on this side of town, is there one in Stock? Let's check Stock first, and then we'll check Budgeford, because we're right here at this end of the map. Well, hang on, let me double check something here. After completion, she gives you one last quest, which is a true friend of Holly Hornblower. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't gotten that yet, so I'm missing a pie. Frustration. Let's check my mail. Oh, I need to sell too. My goodness. There's a hungry hobbit right there. Well, you know, one thing I probably need to do as well. Where is it? I think there's a setting on the map somewhere. Yeah, filter. No, we're good. Alright, my mouse is doing some weird things. I don't know why. Stop it! My right mouse click is like trying to double click. Alright, we are in stock. I do not see a pie to deliver. And that would have been her. It's Primrose Proudfoot, so I already did her. Alright, pretty sure I already did Budgeford, but let's go down the road and check Budgeford as well. We're literally just going to have to run town to town on this list and figure out which pie I missed. And how did I miss it is the question. Budgeford. Welcome to the channel, Dave D. This is what you get for skipping quests occasionally. Because then you forget where you're supposed to go. Alright, if anything, it'll be up in here somewhere. There's the postman. Cam Puttyfoot. And I sure shit don't see anything yet. I like the vendor stalls they've got set up. I'd never noticed this before. Very well done. Well, yeah, here's Saphira Bulger. There's her pie. Well, gosh darn it. It's not her. Alright, so I've went to Brockenborins. No, I know Brockenborins is not it, because I failed that quest like 3 times and finally got it. It's not Budgeford. It's not Woodhall, and it's not Stock. So where can we go from here? Does Scary have one? Frogmorton. Let's head down, because I can hit Brockenborins and Scary last. Let's head down. We'll do Frogmorton, Bywater. I wonder if I missed the... No, because I feel like the one at the party tree was the very first one we did. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to stop using my right mouse click. I'm gonna have to go get my air spray out and clean my mouse probably. Red granule of dust underneath the button or something. The sensor. Frogmorton next. I want my title, damn it. It's literally the last quest I have left to do in the Shire. Is to whatever that missing pie is. So we're gonna hunt that down this afternoon. That's my only objective today, is to do that, and then once we're done with that, we'll go probably work on my class quest. We'll go to Bree, turn in all those quests. But as soon as I hit like level 18, we'll probably head straight to so there's Myrtle Oddfoot. We'll head straight to the Yonder Shire because I've never done the Yonder Shire and I want to do it. So, all right, it's not there. Let's go to Bywater next. I'm 99% sure I already did Bywater. By the way, if you haven't seen it, everybody, Chris made hamburgers for lunch, and I put up a short a little while ago. It's also in the crafting and pets section, gardens and pets section of Discord. Frodo is Christina's little baby. That's the one that bonded with her the most. And he is spoiled rotten, and he will not let her eat in peace. We were eating our hamburgers, and he jumped from the, as he is wont to do, from the washing machine on top of her shoulder, and so she decided that she was gonna back up against the washing machine and just eat there, and he just like kept getting up on her shoulders and like trying to steal her hamburger. So I got a cute short of that if you guys want to check that out. It's not here. Yeah. It's, yeah, Gerd Whitfoot. His pie's right there on the table. Tuckborough we can check. Let's check Tuckborough. Ancient Entity says, mentioning a granule in your mouse made me think of taking apart old ball mice back and then clearing that weird gunk off the rollers. True that. Those were the days, the old ball rollers. I remember it was such a big deal when we started moving to optical mice, you know, and getting the laser on the bottom, you know. It's not at Tuckborough. Waymeat, Mickledelvine. I don't see one for Waymeat. But there's Mickledelvine and Little Delvine. So let's go down the path. Actually, let's just go cross country. It says there's not one in Waymeat. Just out of sheer curiosity, we're gonna run through. You know, it wasn't that long ago either, because I can remember having a ball mouse. I want to say optical mice were like early 2000s, like 20 years ago. I mean, technically, we're still using the optical mice, but you can't, like I'm picking mine up now and it doesn't, like it used to be you would always see the red laser, right? But nowadays, like I have a Logitech G502 Hero, and it doesn't show the laser at all. So it's a weird, you know, technology's improved. Technology, man. Alright, there's nothing in Waymeat. But I tell you what, I was very disappointed with, I bought this Hero mouse, you know, a few years ago. I bought it, and, oops, I went the wrong way. I only got like 6 months of use out of it. It was like a $75 mouse or something. With the weights and everything, it's a very comfortable mouse. But about 6 months after I bought it, like the left, like it started getting double clicks from the left, double clicks from the right, and I found that by blowing it out with an air can, gives me sometimes a few days, sometimes a few weeks. It eventually got bad enough that I just threw the thing into storage and bought a cheap $20 mouse, a programmable mouse with the same buttons and everything else for like 20 bucks from China on Amazon. And I got 2 years out of that cheap mouse. Then about 3 months ago, the cheap mouse finally died. And so I had to go on to Amazon and get another mouse. And while I was waiting for the other mouse to arrive, the only mouse I had in storage was my old Hero 502, my Logitech. So I pulled it out, dusted it off, everything else, and I plugged it back in. And I've been using it for about 2-3 months now, and it's been behaving again, but I do have to blow it out regularly. Because when you start, it'll start just getting double clicks and stuff, which is annoying. But I'm not happy with that purchase. It's a super comfortable mouse, but I was not happy with the fact that like after 3 months or six, well, however many, it was like 6 months, an $80 purchase, and it was like supposed to be rated for 10 million clicks or whatever, and there weren't no 10 million clicks. And then getting 2 years out of a $20 mouse was like, yeah, I don't feel very good about that purchase. Where is the lady in Mickeldelvine? Hugo Broadbelt. I have no idea where this guy's at. Let's go check around here. What I'm really looking for is a quest icon. Oh, there is a quest icon up over here. Who is this? Postmaster Proudfoot has okay, well, I have something to do with him.
It's been a foul day, it has.
Oh, this is the final. Okay. I got my virtue. Oh, before I accept that, let me make sure that I've got my virtue selected so that I don't accidentally max out the wrong one. Nice. All right. Oh, the postmaster has another.
Might I have a word with you?
I do have one more moment.
Well, the gall of some folk.
Oh, this is when I get my title. And I get a cloak, which doesn't look very good. The stats are not better than what I have. Oh, I have far off the quick post. Nice. Alright, so we got that completed. Hugo, what's his name? I don't see him anywhere around here, so maybe he's not up in this area. Oh, there's a quest over here. Oh, that's going to be Bingo Boffin. Yeah, that's Bingo Boffin, which we're not starting. I have that quest on another character. Where the hell is Hugo at? What's up, Eugene? Like that right there, my mouse is like, it freaks out and it goes, what? Just need to clean it. Well, I'm assuming, I don't see anything on the map here, so I'm assuming that I don't have a pie to deliver from. Oh, maybe I do. Hold up. He has a quest icon. Holy shit. Maybe it was this one. Okay, spoiled. Okay. This might be the only one I missed. I hope it's the only one I missed. Hold on. Why wasn't it showing up on my... Hold up. I remember there's like a setting in here. There was a setting somewhere. I'm gonna have to look this up real quick. How to track great quests in Lotro. Open options and go to UI settings and under miscellaneous. Floating information, tooltips, quest guide, miscellaneous. Show trivial quest icons and radar. Holy fuck, that's what happened. I was running around and he wasn't showing up because of that reason right there. Alright. I shouldn't have tracked all those quests. I feel stupid for doing that now. Turn that off, turn that off. That one, yes. Alright, here we go. Off we go to deliver a pie. Technically, I had a meat pie earlier. I had a hamburger and fries on the campfire, wood smoked, delicious. Chris made some burgers and fries, and while she was doing that, she also butchered a chicken. So one of the things, if you've never harvested chickens before, you have to pluck their feathers, obviously. And the way that you pluck feathers is you plunge them into hot water, preferably boiling hot water, you know, after they've been taken care of. But you plunge them into the boiling water and let them sit there for a little bit, and then that loosens up. And then you just literally pull it out and just pull the feathers out, and they just come right out. So Chris knew she was going to butcher a chicken today, so she went ahead and was like, I'm going to cook hamburgers and fries out on the campfire. I was like, awesome. Which is great, because I did P90X cardio this morning, and I was ready for something. I was hungry. Tell you what, I made a post about this on Facebook the other day. I originally got into P90X when I was 31. It's a great program, but it's super intense. And when I did it when I was 31, you know, I was already going to the gym all the time, and I was in pretty good shape when I did it. Was running, you know, a few miles every day, and went to the gym 4 times a week. So I was in pretty good shape, but it was still a very aggressive program. And when I did it for 6 months. I did 2 rotations, put on another like 15 pounds of muscle when I did it. And you know, it was good. It was a good program. You know, flash forward to, you know, having given up on running, and then not doing anything for a whole year while I was out here and putting on, you know, 20 pounds of weight. Also being 10 years older. And I knew I don't have the weights. I don't have all the free weights and stuff. I don't have a pull-up bar or anywhere to do pull-ups. So there's a lot of stuff I can't do with the program. But I can do things like the Yoga X and the Cardio X and stuff like that. So I was like, last week I did the first time I'd done any of those programs in a while, and I tried to do the Cardio X. I only did about 60% of it, and I felt like absolutely destroyed. And then I took the next 3 days off, and then I did it again this morning. Today I did about 85%, maybe 90%. Like I still had to stop twice and catch my breath. I felt much better this time, but as soon as I got done, it was like within 2 hours I was back in bed, just like passed out. I literally did the cardio this morning, had breakfast, drank a cup of coffee, came back here, recorded a video, and then I was like, I'm going to bed. I slept for another couple hours, then got up and had burgers. All right, I still am missing pies. So somehow, let's go to Little Delving. Apparently, I have missed pies somewhere. Right? She doesn't have a follow-up for me. Just gonna double check. All right. I wish when you talk to her, it would give you like a list, like a quest that would just show you like gather these 12 pies from these locations. Can I not go to Little Delving from here? Apparently not. Maybe we can get there from Mickle Delving. Oh, potato salad. Baked beans. Yeah. I made potato salad about a month ago. It was the first time I'd had it in a few years. And I forgot how good it was. I forgot how much I missed potato salad. That's one of the nice things, you know, we don't get all of our own produce and stuff, but because we have our chickens and everything else, it was like we had this excess of eggs. So it's like, you know what? I have not made I've not made potato salad in a really long time. We've got like, you know, 15, 20 eggs extra. So I went ahead and boiled up a dozen eggs. I made egg salad for sandwiches, then I made potato salad. It was good. But I'll tell you what I miss. you can't. I've never been able to replicate it. There is uh, uh, a breading for fried chicken called Dixie Fry in the United States that my mom's dad, my grandfather, when he was still alive, he was the one who introduced us to that, introduced my mom to it, my mom and my aunts, everything else. And it's a very, if you've never had Dixie Fry, it's a really, really good breading for fried chicken that there's some ways you can do it. The way that he taught us to make it was um, to marinate the chicken in soy sauce, um, like for a few hours before you're going to do the whole breading process. And you can I remember it used to be a thing back in the day when I was growing up where the only time we would ever get Dixie Fry was, there's a point to this because it goes with it goes with potato salad. Um, the only time we would get it
Good
is when my
day.
grandfather would come out from California to come visit us in Missouri, or if we would go visit him in California, and my mom would buy, like a dozen boxes, and we would bring it home, and we would have, enough for the year. Like apparently, I can't ride up to Little Delving. Anyway, flash forward to I think like a month ago, my mom sends me this text message and she's like, "Did you know you can get Dixie Fry on Amazon?" And I was like, "What?" Because usually what we do is whenever Chris and I go up to visit the family, my mom will stick like half a dozen boxes of Dixie Fry in my bags. By the way, I cannot tell you how many times Homeland Security has like stopped me and like gone through my luggage because they want to know what's in those little boxes, and they've opened them a few times to like make sure that there's nothing hidden in the breading, in the powder. It's really funny, but it's really good stuff. You can buy it on Amazon now, but I can't get it delivered here because it's an import and they don't do a lot of food imports. But the reason I mention this is because the best way that my family has always enjoyed that Dixie fried chicken is cold. I totally took the wrong road, by the way. Cold chicken on a picnic with potato salad is like, it is one of the best combos I can think of for like summer food with like an ice cold Coca-Cola. Fuck yeah, man. Or iced tea or something. Mm. All right, I need to go up north apparently. Dun, dun, dun. But Chris and I usually just have burgers and fries. But we make our own French fries, so they're tasty. I do like a Parmesan garlic seasoning. And then a lot of times, if you've never done this, I like tzatziki with my fries as a dipping sauce. This is different. I like fries so much. I actually make fries usually once or twice a week. I'll make French fries, and I'll make a big bowl of tzatziki when I do it because I just love tzatziki with French fries. I think it's a really good combination. It's not for everybody. Oh shit! I got two quests up here. Oh, that's the hardened traveler. Well, yep, I missed a pie here too. How the hell did I miss all these pies? Oh, I'm getting some lag. Hopefully it's not my lag, my new server lag.
Please, stay a moment.
What? There's like a hobbit right here when you pick up the pie. Or I'm about to pick up the pie. How am I going to get past her? I'm going to wait, see where she goes. Because I got to go across that bridge. I can't get in the water. Is she going to keep roaming? Ah!
Can I take a moment of your time?
Alright, let's hope I can make it this time. Alright. Woot! No! No, shit! I almost ran straight into that guy. Crap. How am I going to get around him? Up and over and around. I do have to pay attention here because there's hungry hobbits everywhere. Hey, man. Oh, I do the same thing, dude. So I'm gonna tell you, when I was really young, when I was 16, one of my first jobs was working at McDonald's, and a lot of the people I worked with at McDonald's would dip their fries in milkshakes, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. But I will say that um, the um, the milkshakes are good. Like I like, the McDonald's milkshakes and McDonald's fries. That's a good combo. But I tell you what's a better combo is the Wendy's. What the hell do they call that chocolate malt thing that Wendy's does? Um, Fuck, I forget the name of it now. But Wendy's French fries dipped in that chocolate malt shake thing they do. Oh, I love it. So I know you're like, what the fuck, but I'm telling you, man, your girlfriend's doing something right. That's good stuff, man. It's a good combo. I like it anyway. It's not for everybody. It's that salty sweet. Mujin says it gets very expensive to go like 600. Oh yeah, dude, I'm spending. Yeah, it's a lot of money on my Jedi. I'm like 620 or 630, I think. Um, I actually was gonna. It was a debate today about whether or not I was gonna stream Star Wars: Old Republic or Lord of the Rings online. But I decided, you know what? I did so much Star Wars: Old Republic for like 2 weeks. I was gonna take a break, but I'll get back to it next week because I gotta get my arms tech up, and I gotta finally. I didn't start it this week because I got sidetracked with other stuff, but I gotta start the HK quest line finally. That's what happens when you get sidetracked doing content creation. Sometimes you end up. Ancient Eddie says, I've tried it, not a fan. I prefer my fries plain, bit of ketchup. I don't mind ketchup from time to time. I'm a big fan of like garlic sauces and Parmesan sauces, stuff like that. Ollie Ollie, I really like. And then, I mean, it's a weird thing, but like it depends on where you go and how they make it. But I will say that one of my favorite combos ever is French fries and ranch dressing. I know that sounds not like normal fries, but like seasoned fries. Seasoned fries. So I don't know if it's still there, but there used to be a place in Loveland, Colorado. I know it was still there a few years ago because we went to visit my sister and it was still there. But it's a place called McGrath's Pizza. And when I was living in Greeley, Colorado, I would go there every Tuesday. It was the only people I ever met in real life who I played EverQuest with way back in the day. And by pure chance, they joined our guild. They are on our server, joined our guild, and they happen to live in the same area. They lived in Boulder, Colorado, and lived in Greeley. So we were both about an hour away from Loveland. So we picked a place in the middle. We used to go to this place called McGrath's, and they were known for wood-fired pizzas and really good. Like this was at the beginning of like before IPAs were the rage. Like they had their own like couple of IPAs on tap. Um, and they had the best seasoned fries, and they made their own ranch dressing in house. It was this thick, like almost like a pancake batter type consistency. It was so we would go and we would just order like two pizzas and like three baskets of these fries, and we would just sit there and drink beer for like 4 hours and shoot the shit about all of our plans for EverQuest for like the next week, and then we would go home and play EverQuest together for the next 7 or 8 days. All right, let's see here. So apparently I missed that one, and I'm still missing more because she does not have the follow-up quest. That's crazy, Mujin. Is it plain pickle spear dipped in ranch? Yes. Yes, that is. Ranch goes with a lot of things. I also like ranch on cold pizza. Not very often, but sometimes I like ranch on cold pizza. And we used to eat, what was it called? Country Kitchen? Or Village Inn. It was Village Inn. I think it was Village Inn. When I was, I worked construction for 20 plus years. And for a while, when I was living up in the mountains in Colorado, in Steamboat Springs, the guys I worked with, the guy who owned the company would take everybody out to lunch once a week on like Thursdays, and we would always go to Village Inn. And they had like this greasy gutter burger that was just so good with like French fries and ranch dressing. Mm. And I like pickles, man. That's the one thing that's really hard to find here in Mexico is like dill pickles. Like you can find bread and butter pickles, like sweet pickles, but you cannot find dill pickles. Like it's just that is not a thing here. Yeah, I don't mind ranch on cold pizza, but not on hot pizza. I like garlic dipping sauce for pizza. That's actually pretty good though. All right, so I got Mickle Delving, Little Delving. I already got the one in Tuckborough. Woodhall, Stock, Frogmorton, Bywater, Budgeford. What am I missing here? Brockenmorton's, Bywater. So I could check Needle Hole. Oh, I guarantee you I missed Needle Hole. I don't even remember going up to Needle Hole in a while.
Hello there.
Dill is also really hard to come by, Muji, unfortunately. When we were in the city, I could get dill at the market, but we've been here a year and a half, or a year and 2 months, year and 3 months. You cannot get dill here. No one carries dill. You can't get it dried. Matter of fact, I don't even think I can get it on Amazon. I'm gonna go check real quick. I might be able to get it on Amazon because I hadn't even thought about that. I can get dried dill through Amazon. Holy fuck, is it expensive though? Those prices cannot be right. I'm gonna have to do some digging. Oh, that's why it's a big box. It's a box of 6 shakers of dill. That's why it costs so much money. I was like, $40, what the hell? But it's big containers. But yeah, I can't get dill where I live. Nope, no seeds either. I need to find... Oh, somebody just did something. Checking my monitor. Ancient Entity has become a... You were already a member. Oh, you upgraded. Well, thank you very much, sir, for upgrading to Guild Champion. I appreciate the support. Oh, does that mean I gotta do... I think Champion is the shout-out one, so you're gonna get shout-outs now. Which means I gotta redo my shout-out page and my shout-out message. I'll try to remember to do that tomorrow. If I don't do it tomorrow, I'll do it Tuesday. Thank you, Ancient Entity. I appreciate that. I think that's the shout-out tier. I'll check later. I got messages on Discord, things I'm reading on internet. All right, hang on. There's a quest over here. Is this the person? Yes, it is. How did I miss all these pies? I must have just completely skipped
take a moment of your
the
time?
pie delivery when I was doing this the other day. All right, hang on. Let me check something here before I deliver. Oh, Druga Dragos is here as well. How are things in Romania, Druga? Haven't seen you in a few weeks. Hopefully you're doing well. God, it's got to be like the middle of... no, not middle of the night. It's probably, what, 9 or 10 o'clock at night your time? Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the support. Now I can afford to go buy dill off of Amazon. I gotta figure out where I can get dill though. It's impossible to find down here. But I will say this: Chris has made some very good um, sweet pickles recently without dill, but just her own recipe. But it's more like escabeche, which is like a Mexican combination of like peppers and onions and garlic and vinegar and all this other stuff. It's a Mexican version of like they'll take jalapenos and escabeche. Um, yeah, 11 p.m. I was off by an hour or two. Excuse me. Guild Champion is the one with the member shoutouts, so I will update that tomorrow or Tuesday. Hey man, I get it. Like when I've got a heavy workload, like just ignore social media if you can.
Good day.
Unfortunately, I don't get to do that with my current job is living on social media, so I get to I'm pretty much always plugged in. But I know Chris is in a position where she can actually unplug. Chris will go. I mean, she'll go a week, sometimes more, without even touching her laptop, and she'll just be phone only and just like only really WhatsApp, just like talking to family members. She might check Facebook like once every 4 or 5 days. It's actually a joke between me and my sister-in-laws because Chris is notorious for not. She never checks her phone even. Like she just doesn't check her messages for like 3 or 4 days. She won't check her social media for a week. And her sister, I literally, it's the funniest thing because I'll start getting like pings on my phone. I'm like, what is going on? And it's literally like my sister-in-law or one of my nieces will be like sending me messages and be like, tell Chris to answer her phone. Oh, you want to talk about melting, Druga? Um, last month was like 40 to 45 Celsius. Right now, today, like it's my office is starting to get hot because it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Um, but I think outside right now, I'll have to check in a minute when I'm not running down the road. But I think today is 39 degrees Celsius. I think it's 39 degrees. So 28 would be absolutely amazing. We did get down to 28 like about 10, 12 days ago because it rained like 3 days in a row. When it rains, the temperature will drop to like, 30 degrees, 25 to 30. But we don't get 25 to 30 degree weather until like December. December it's really nice here, like December, January, sometimes November, but you get like 25, 30 during the days. Sometimes it'll get below 25. Hang on, I gotta get turned around here. Yeah, social media can be exhausting. By the way, somebody asked a question earlier and I missed it. Somebody's asked what difficulty am I playing on? Normal. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not gonna go do any hardcore Lord of the Rings online. I play this game to relax. I don't come here to be challenged. If I want to be challenged, I'll go play like God of War on legendary mode or something. Zero Homer says, hang on, guys, I'll get caught up on chat in a minute. I'm like looking down and I gotta pay attention for the hungry hobbits here to not get my pie stolen, so give me a second. That still wasn't the last pie. Okay. Social media exhaust for me, says Zero Homer. YouTube, Discord, and Telegram are the only means of communication I use aside of corporate. By the way, what is Telegram? I've heard of that, but I don't. Is that a Russian social media? Like I know China has WeChat or whatever it's called. I've heard of Telegram. I've never seen it. Turker says, good luck to you two whenever you're doing. 28 Celsius would be bliss for me, says Zero Homer. I'm permanently cold and starved of sunlight in Russia. Durga says, at 39, I'm turning to dust. Yeah, man. I like Celsius. For me, the perfect temperature is like 20, 20 degrees. 20 degrees Celsius for me is like chef's kiss. It's warm enough that if I'm in the sun, I don't need a sweater, but if I'm in the shade, I probably will have a sweater on. But I'm in shorts. I'm in shorts with like a t-shirt at 20 degrees. 20 degrees is the perfect temperature for me. Mujin says my area needs rain. Been a month. We've been about 2 weeks since we've had rain. It's so dry outside. I water my yard 3 times a day right now. Bubbleonia says I'm the same way. By the way, Bubbleonia, did you get my Discord message? I know you had. I pinged you back. Oh, never mind. I just read what you said in Discord as well. Okay. All right, we're good. We're good. Yeah, I'll ping you tomorrow. It says I'm the way, same way for 5 years. Little or no social media. It's part of why it's taking me longer to do my own channel. Until we have to do on social media and nope out. Zero Mar says when I move to Israel, I'll finally be all right. Ancient Ace says 88 degrees here, perfect creek weather if it wasn't so lazy. Yeah, so Fahrenheit wise, it's like it's 90. I think it's 90. I can actually check right now. I think it's 98 or 99 degrees outside. I'll check. I've like got an eyelash in my eye. It's 97 outside. It's gonna peak at 98 degrees. Excuse me. It's gonna peak at 100 degrees today. 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius. Ooh, looks like next Sunday is supposed to be 41 degrees Celsius, 105 degrees Fahrenheit. This is supposed to be the rainy season, and Chris was actually complaining. She's like, "Why is it so hot? It hasn't rained. This is supposed to be rainy season." And it's not rainy, which sucks. All right. Are we back? We might be back. I don't know if it crashed. All right, I think I'm back. There was definitely a hiccup in the internet there, but I think we're all good. I am going to have to relog the client, though. So we're going to switch over to a different screen here. We're not actually reading the Lord of the Rings, but this way you guys don't have to see me logging out and logging back in. All right, let's see here. Let me get logged back in. 41 Celsius. It's a Men at Work song. It is, man. It's gonna be hot next Sunday. It's hot right now. Like right now in my office because I have no insulation here and I'm west-facing wall. About 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon is when I start to feel it. And it'll be really hot in my office from about now until about 6 o'clock. And even with the air conditioner and the mini split going, it does not keep like I'm already starting to my back is starting to stick to my chair. But it's really only about a month to 2 months out of the year where it's this hot. Most of the time, it's pretty comfortable in my office at least. But June, like May and June are usually May, like mid-April to the end of May is usually like the hot months. That's when it's like 40 to 45 Celsius. And then we usually get back down to like 35, which is, mid 90s Fahrenheit. But it's abnormally hot this year for this time of year because the rain season hasn't started. So we're 2 weeks late on the rainy season. All right, I'm getting logged back in, guys. Durga says need to catch up with a lot of your videos. The homestead one's pretty good. Are you doing well? Yes, we are. I have not. We did a homestead video last week. I'm not doing as many homesteading videos right now, and there's a reason for that. And that's because we're not building anything right now. We're not we're just kind of in routine right now. There's a reason, which I think I talk about it in the video. I did a video like last week on the homesteading channel, but basically where we're at with the homesteading stuff is I think I can switch back now. We're currently fleshing out the whole yard with garden and grass. So there's a lot of just every day, 3 times a day, watering the yard. Chris raised her meat chickens. We had 7 of them. She just butchered the 5th today. So we only have 2 left. So those were successful. So she's been tracking the costs for those because she's going to see if maybe she wants to try to sell those um, as like a side business. She started a small side business selling things out of the front of the house, just like little snacks and sandwiches, and tortas, tamales, tacos, etc. And she's going to start making fresh muffins and everything else. And I'm about to build. I told her the other day we're supposed to set aside a day this week where I'm going to go buy the lumber, but I've got to build a new table for the electric oven, and I'm building like a little storefront. So we have like a weird, like, our house is like on the sidewalk sort of, but we have like a half wall, like a little concrete half wall and a little balcony space, and she wanted to put like a little bar top on one side. So we're gonna go buy the lumber and I'm gonna build that, and then she's gonna hand paint it and get all her signs and everything else. So, oh, and our rescue chicken, Frida, I think she's 10 or 12 days on the eggs now, but she started brooding. So we're just waiting for her to see if those eggs, because we don't know how many of those eggs are fertilized, because she doesn't let the rooster breed her. The other 3 let the rooster breed them. So we took like 5 days in a row where we robbed the eggs from the other chickens and put them underneath her. So she's got like 7 or 8 eggs. So we're gonna see if any of the eggs hatch. So we didn't do a lot of videos for about a month, but we're about to start doing some more videos because I'll be doing videos of the new construction. I'm going to build the table. That'll be a documentary series. I'm going to build the storefront. That'll be a documentary series. And then whenever Frida has her babies, that'll be a documentary series. And then I'm not showing this yet on any of my channels. Um, we did not attempt to prune our tomatoes. So we grew a single tomato plant, never grown tomatoes before, and it just kept growing. And I never paid attention to it. And then about a week ago, we finally decided, it's like taller than I am. And it's like, all right, we really need to figure out this thing's been growing for like 4 months and it's never given us tomatoes. So what the fuck? So I'm learning how to garden. And so once I figure out how to reliably make the tomato plants give me tomatoes, I will be doing a video on tomatoes. We've already done the our cucumber plant gave us like 8 cucumbers, and then it was done. So Chris rooted it up, threw it away, and then she was planting some new things there. The papaya trees are doing great. The avocado trees are doing great. Our basil is out of control. We have like 20 basil plants now, and they're all seedling. They're all growing seeds, so we've got tons of basil. Um, our grass is growing good. Like we're finally getting the whole yard with grass, so it's not a barren wasteland in the back. What else? I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. But it's a work in progress. But yes, there's lots of stuff going on in the homestead stuff. But that's all on. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to drop a link here in chat real quick. Hang on. For those of you who are wondering, what the frack is he talking about? Here's a link. That's the other channel. Oh, you want to see how the cats are doing? So here's some of the cats. This is their daily routine. Not all of them. So I've got Mary is down on this chair. She's asleep right here. And then over here on the bed, I have, that is Sam. And over there I have Pippin and Smeagol. And then you're not going to be able to see who's in that chair. Lucas is in that chair. And then outside, Chris has Frodo. And I think, who's left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Frodo and Leia are outside. So, and then I just put up a short a little while ago. I was talking about this at the beginning of the stream. I put up a YouTube short. It's also in the Discord channel in the pet section. Frodo is horrible with stealing Christina's food. And so we were eating burgers today and he was stealing her burger. It's quite hilarious. And then Lucas just had, I think I didn't show it when it happened, but Luke, he's better now, but there was like 5 days. Luke came home one morning with like a horrible, Like I thought I was gonna have to take him to the vet, but I wasn't quite sure. So I talked to my sister-in-law because she's a vet, and we just were like, let's just try to do it at home. But something got a hold of his back leg and just it was another cat from the bite marks. But the two top fangs went in, and he had a like an inch long cut that went all the way down to the bone, and then another one that went down into the tendon, and he wasn't moving too good on his back leg, and so he was laid up in my office for 5 days with a bandage around, and he got pissed. And this is when, by the way, for those some of you were here, um, like the fourth or fifth day, he got so pissed off at being stuck in here. But this is my wife's headset. He totally, this electrical tape because I was trying to fix this. He totally got pissed off one day. When he gets pissed off, he goes and chews on things. And we were taking a nap, and I wake up to this sound of like something hitting the edge of my desk repeatedly, and it was him chewing on this, and the cord was dangling and like hitting the side of the desk, and he basically he chewed his way halfway through my so he's destroyed two of Christina's charging cables, and he destroyed my $75 headset. Um, because when he gets pissed, when yeah, it was absolutely a. There's 5 tomcats that roam the woods around our property, and they've all had altercations with them. Um, they've all, I think, yeah, they've all had altercations, but no one's gotten majorly fucked up before. Until Lucas. Lucas got banged up pretty good. So he was in here for 5 days, but the bandage has been off for about 10 days now, and the wound is all closed up. It closed up very nicely. Didn't need any stitches. So the cats are doing well. I mean, it's just it's like every month there's something that happens to one of them. That's like before Lucas, it was Pippin came home, and she got bit by a tomcat, and her leg swelled up on her front leg, and she couldn't walk for 2 days. And then before that, it was Sam. We're still not sure if it was a botfly larva or something, but something got into Sam, and he had a big abscess on his tail that we had to deal with. Um, so yeah, I mean, cats are fine. They're just crazy. Cats being cats. All right, I gotta figure out. I just did needle hole, right? Where the hell else could there be pies that I missed? I mean, I guess we need to check the hill. I mean, I'm just making a rotation at this point. Watch out for immunodeficiency virus. I mean, here's the messed up thing. So we didn't ask for the cats. We didn't go out looking for cats. It was a strange situation when we moved in where Mama Cat showed up with 2 kittens. We were like, oh, Luke and Leia, yay! And then Mama Cat turned out was pregnant and dropped 5 more kittens on us. And it was like, oh no, not yay anymore. And so, those were not in the budget. They were not planned. So they've never gotten any of their viruses shots. They've had rabies shots, but nothing beyond rabies shots because it's fucking expensive. It's like I think for a full round of vaccinations, it's like, man, I fucking forget. I think it's like 300. Even here in Mexico, it's expensive. It's like $350 per cat for like a full round of vaccinations, and it was like, we're not spending, $2,500 on full rounds of vaccinations for all the cats. So they only have the rabies shots. So we are somewhat conscious of the fact that they could, there's always something. But the vet has assured us, like literally, we talked to the vet about it. She's like, I wouldn't worry about it. She's like, there's not really any cat viruses around here. There's a handful of cats that roam. Mostly everyone has dogs here, but there are stray cats everywhere. So it sucks, but you have to. Yeah, we never know. You never know. I mean, it's a risk that we have to take because we're not spending $2,500 that we don't have for cats. It's one of those things where it's like, we didn't have a choice in taking the cats on. I wasn't just gonna go throw them in a sack and drown them in the river, which some people would do. I was like, oh well, I guess we're keeping 5 cats, on top of the 2 we already have. Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm sure the costs are through the roof for you guys with all the sanctions and everything else. So, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's already like the good thing that I have going for me is I grew up on a farm. I grew up on a dairy farm. So I grew up with cows and cats and chickens and everything else and horses and all, large animals. And I worked for the vet for a couple summers and I've worked with cows my whole life, and I'm very familiar with um, vaccinations and giving shots and everything else. So I'm not afraid to like do all the things that need to be done myself. So most things we can handle. And then my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, also worked for the vet for many years, and they have a cattle ranch and work with small and large animals. So I am blessed in that um, I can handle pretty much. Ah, fucking, she smelled the pie. I gotta go back. I don't really ever have to worry about the vet unless it's like something like serious. Like it would have to be like my, you know, God forbid, knock on wood, the cat gets hit by a car or something, that would be a vet clinic thing, just to surgery or whatever needs to be done. Most other things I can handle, but the thing with viruses is like you don't really, there's nothing you can do with a virus, so that's a scary thing, and it is sad, yeah. It is sad if that were to happen. So hopefully not. Hey Sam, did you hear us talking about you? Do you want to come say hi to everybody? Come here.
Hi there. Give me a moment.
He just woke up. Come on. Do you want to come say hi to everybody? Little cattail in the camera. Here. Why don't we say hi? What's up, Sammy? So this is his routine. He just woke up, so he'll spend about anywhere from a couple minutes to 5 minutes here. But what he wants is he's gonna want to go out here in a minute. So when he wakes up, he always wants to come cuddle for a few minutes, and then he goes out and says, "Hey, Dad, can you get the door for me?" My aunt used to do that. Ancient Entity out in Nixa, Missouri. They used to do golden retrievers. Many, many years they did golden retrievers. And then I think then they moved on to what are they called? Golden doodles, I think, something like that. Yes, Sam. How are you doing? Are you gonna give me headbutts? that was a violent headbutt, buddy. Yeah, that was him saying he wants to go out now. I'll be right back, guys. No, si puedes dar comida, sí. Tiene hambre. He's ready for lunch, and it's his lunchtime. Oh, hang on, I got a what's that message from my brother? Hang on, guys, I gotta go tell Chris something. This is hilarious. All right, hang on. I'll be right back. Here comes Mary. It's gonna be Yeah, Sammy's a good cat about he does. Oh, you do. Hang on, let me get sidetracked. Yeah, Sam is a good boy. Sam is a very um loving cat. He likes to cuddle. He does headbutts a lot. And but he can't handle the heat. Like when he was a baby last, because they were born last May, and we noticed that even by the time he was like 4 months old, he was like he would in the like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, even if it was like 90 degrees, 95 degrees, he starts panting and like just hot. So he does not handle the heat very well. So he spends most of his days inside. Um, Most of the cats though have gotten used to the air conditioner. They spend a lot of time in here. But Sam is very cuddly, and you can throw him over your shoulder, and he does the headbutts a lot. Um, Ancient A says we do Pomeranians, Maltese, Chihuahuas, and Dutch Hounds. 30 breeding adults. Mostly stick to small breeds because they're simultaneously easier to handle, fetch a better price. True. My aunt used to. She never bred them, but she always had Pomeranians when I was growing up. Zero much says one winter we had a local epidemic of feline rhinitis. Left us one kitty dead, two community cats, feet in our country house missing, 3 disabled permanently. That is that sucks. I mean, diseases are it's there's nothing you can do about it. And here's the thing, like vaccines are not a guarantee that the animals aren't going to get sick. It's just a buffer to hopefully help them not get sick, and if they do get sick, they hopefully won't die from it. Like I think the big thing for dogs, what is it? Parvovirus or parovirus? I forget. It's parvo, right? Parvo? Like that's the big one for dogs, I think. And Ancient Entity might know that more than me. But I know like here locally, people's like puppies die. Like our nieces have tried to have puppies like I think 6 or 8 times in the last year, and every one of their puppies has died because they get lazy about vaccinating them, and so the dogs and they always get parvo and whatever it is and croak, and it sucks. But it's like it's like when are you gonna learn? Like it's one thing to have one animal. I'm talking out of my ass here because I have 7 and I don't get them vaccinated. But like I can handle vaccinating 1. It's vaccinating 7. Those costs are prohibitive. Yep. I hear ya. Where is this hobbit gonna go, and how do I get past her? Alright, she's gonna go... hang on. Her pathing is horrible. How am I ever gonna get past her? I'm running out of time! Screw it. Fuck you. How does she smell it? I don't remember how I got past her, because this hobbit fucked with me when I was doing this the other day from Brockenborings, and I had to do it 3 times. I'll tell you what, running from Brockenborings is a lot longer than from here at the hill. You think there's a route through the riverbed? Where? Because I have never found a route through the riverbed. I thought you had to go over the... I thought you had to go over the bridge. Because I tried a spot the other day on the river, and I couldn't make it across.
Don't you turn your back on me?
Yeah, I did. I tried yesterday, but I went left instead of right, so who knows. I'll take another look. But I tell you what, I love cats, and yeah, the anybody else, I mean, I grew up on a farm, and I do remember watching, my dad definitely, I remember when we were young, and it traumatized me for life. My dad grew up in that generation, and I remember being young, and he took a litter of kittens and put them in a sack and did what he thought needed to be done in a body of water, and it was not, it was not cool. Where's that hobbit? I don't even see her now. Screw it. Run! Apparently she wanders off in some other different area. Finally!
Just a moment.
That was the last pie. Oh my god, finally. Yeah, it's the same here. Ancient. If you're gonna sell your animals, you're required to get all their vaccines and stuff. And so like we actually have. I think I put it up on. I put it up on YouTube last year when we got them all. Everybody got their rabies vaccines, you know, because at the very least those are free. The government the government here just gives out rabies vaccines, and they do campaigns like every 3 months. Every 3 months, they'll run through, and the government will run a campaign where they'll pay for the vets to spay, neuter, and do rabies vaccinations for small animals. So pretty much everyone can get their dogs and cats spayed. Well, you can get them vaccinated for rabies for free, and then you get a huge discount on spaying and neutering if you wait until one of the campaigns. So like I think we did half of the Luke and Leia. I think we did outside of a campaign because we just needed to get them spayed. So we got Luke and Leia spayed with their mom, and then the other five we happened to get them spayed and neutered when it was a campaign going on. So it was a bang bang done, and it was like half price. Um, all right, there's my marks of
Please, stay a
reputation.
moment.
And here is my title, Pie Runner. Yay!
Just a moment.
Awesome. Now, I think I have officially completely wrapped up the Shire. I think. Um, I think the only thing left is Bingo Boffin, which isn't really related to the Shire per se. Which means I think we can now head to the Shire, or excuse me, we can head to Bree. I have multiple quests to turn into Bree, and then I can do my class quest, and then we'll see where we at. Yeah, I'm a cat
How
person
do you
too,
do?
Zero Homer. I can't. I don't mind dogs. Um, I remember for years I had two cats and a golden retriever all at the same time in my house, and I love golden retrievers. My mom's always had German shepherds, and then the ranch dogs are border collies. So I've always been around dogs and animals my whole life, but I have always been a cat person. I love. I have a serious weakness for cats. It sucks. It sucks. Like I'll see a cat on the street and it's like I start getting like it's like a magnet, and Chris is like, "No, let's go home. You don't need another cat." It's like, but but I just want to pet it." uh we've been talking about getting a dog, but I think we're looking at a big breed, like not a big breed, but like a medium-sized breed. We've talked about like a Doberman or a Boxer. Um, I we can't have a high energy dog, like because we don't have property. We have a small property, but it's not a huge backyard. So if you want to have like a husky or a border collie, you need property so those animals can fucking run. Um, and you know, I remember Zero Homer. So I lived in Bulgaria for a few years. My one of my ex partner was from there, and we lived in one of those communist style block buildings up on the sixth floor, um, in a little two-bedroom apartment, and all we had was a little balcony, you know, and that's like, you know, maybe a meter wide by like 2 meters long. And then, but we had a cat, and she was a very pleasant animal and everything else, but it's a very small space. It's a very small confined space, and there's no yard. And I kind of made a decision back then that I wasn't gonna do animals ever again until I could have space for them. Um, so it's nice here because our cats are free roam. Like literally, if I've never shown, like I've shown some stuff on our homesteading channel, which I linked for the people who won't give a shit and want to pay attention to that kind of stuff. Um, can I go to West Bree? Oh, I need to probably go there manually. Let's go to stock. I've shown some before and after stuff on our homesteading channel so people can see what it is. But basically, outside of this office door, the house is open. We leave the back door open all day to the backyard. And the front door has slatted windows that we just leave open all the time. And this, when they're open, it's like a 6-inch. It's maybe not quite 6 inches wide. The windows, the slat glasses, but they slide down. So there's like 7 or 8 of those slats. So the cats go in and out of that door as they please. They jump up. It's about 4 feet high. It's about 4 feet high to jump up onto the lowest slat window. So that's where they go in and out whenever they need to, if the back door is closed. We leave the back door open throughout the day. We do close it at night. We didn't used to close it at night, but here's the problem. The 2 stray tomcats got wind of the fact that we were leaving that back door open at nights, and they were coming in the house and eating cat food that wasn't theirs. And then that wasn't the huge problem. The problem was they sprayed 3 times. They sprayed the inside of our house, like the kitchen walls. So the tomcat would come in, he would eat scraps and then spray all over the wall. And so Chris and I would wake up in the morning and there's that smell of male cat spray. And it's like, fuck. And then we got to like wash the wall and bleach everything down. And so then it just became this thing where it's like, you know what? We're just going to have to close the back door. And so now we just leave the slatted window open so the cats can go in and out as they please. So our animals just go. So they don't, this is where they sleep during the day when it's hot. But they, about 7 o'clock at night, they leave. And the first 2 to 3 hours, they stay pretty close to home. Like 7 to 10, they stay pretty close to the house. But by 10 o'clock, they're off. They're either in the woods behind the house or they go across the road, which is the scary part because there's traffic sometimes on the road. But they go across the road and into the fields on the other side on the front of our house. And that's where they just go. And they, like, I got a short, I haven't uploaded it, but like Frodo, they all bring him home, but Frodo's the big hunter. So they bring home like iguanas, like the 4 to 6 inch baby iguanas. I constantly open up the door and there's like 3 dead iguanas on my floor in the hallway out here. It's just concrete slab, so it's I told you guys the other night, I'm sitting here streaming, I hear this horrible screaming sound coming from outside the door, and I open it up, and Pippin had brought home like a meadowlark bird and was like killing it in the hallway, and the poor bird was like screaming its death throes, and it was like, oh my god, you guys are little murder machines. So yeah, our cats come and go as they please, so they are not limited by geography. They have wide open space. Ancient Eddie says, I have 2 Shibu Inus. I don't know that I've ever seen one of those in person. I need to stop over here in Tuckborough and get the... Oh yeah, they totally bring us offerings all the time. It's hilarious. Zero Homer says Jack Russell and Cocker Spaniels are the best dogs. People don't have time to train and run them down. Yeah, I don't know enough about dog breeds, yeah. Yes, it's only possible in wealthy neighborhoods because the other reality here where we live is like there's like 5 tomcats, right, that roam around, and no one is going to track them down to capture them and spay them or neuter them. No one's going to track them down. Now, if you were in, I don't know how it is in Russia, but I know in the United States there are people who set up like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like they donate their time. What is the word for this? I can't think of what the word is that I'm looking for. But people who donate their time and they get together and they trap stray cats, spay them, neuter them, and then release them back into the wild. And there's a term for it, and I can't remember what it is. But they're not rescuing the animal. They just go and track it. They catch them, spay and neuter them, and then release them into the wild. Ancient Annie says Chihuahuas are a good breed for apartments because they're so small that even a small space is huge for them, and they just naturally like to lay around. Zero Homers of my Siberian cat's bigger than Chihuahuas. You could train your kitty to do the same. Ryan Glacier says the new difficulty settings are brutal. I've heard they are. I'm not ever gonna test them out. I have no desire to do that. But I've heard the same. I've heard many people saying that they are quite challenging. By the way, everybody, tomorrow evening, theoretically, I don't know. It depends on my internet connection. If the internet's good and everything else tomorrow, Diablo 4's official launch is tomorrow. Not the early access, but the actual launch is tomorrow. So, my plan is to start playing at 5 p.m. I'm going to try to record about 3 hours of footage, 2 to 3 hours of footage, to get all the footage that I need to make my first round of videos next week. And then after that, theoretically, I'm going to go live. So I'm going to try to go live tomorrow night, maybe around 8. My time 8 would be 9 Central. So it'll be a late night stream tomorrow if, you know, I'm assuming that goes. So I won't be streaming tomorrow at my normal times, which is either, you know, early afternoon or like 6 p.m. Central. I'll be starting later, like 8 or 9 p.m. Central, assuming the internet's good and everything else. But I will try to stream some Diablo 4 tomorrow night. The volunteer TNR bands, yeah. No, Zero Homer. There's a new setting here. I don't know if you've seen it yet. I did a video on it yesterday. We're almost to the prancing pony, so just give me a second, Zero Homer, and I'll show you. If you weren't aware, they now have
for you?
landscape difficulty NPCs in the game as of the patch from update 36, which was like 3 or 4 days ago. So you can now go to these NPCs, which we're about to see one because there's one outside of the prancing pony, and you can set the difficulty of the mobs in the landscape, in the world. And there's like 10 or 12 different ranks of difficulty that you could set it at. And it changes the difficulty of all the mobs. It does not apply to instances with more than 3 people in your party. It also does not apply to delvings. But yeah, you can go to this NPC. We're about to be there. We'll take a look at it real quick. But I did a whole video the other day, I think 2 days ago, on the system. For those of you who want to learn more about it in detail, there's a bunch of stuff in the patch notes too. I played the first one. I never played the second one. Then I played the third one with my brother. Really enjoyed it. And then I've just sort of, you know, I'm not an ARPG fan. I'm not. But I love the lore of Diablo. I love the music of Diablo. I love the art style. It's a highly polished ARPG because I've tried many other ARPGs over the year. I just don't like them. I don't like Path of Exile. There was another one that came out recently called Lost Enoch or something. It's in early access. I didn't like that. I've just traditionally never liked ARPGs, but I love Diablo. So this is what you're looking for, Zero Homer. There's an NPC called the Hardened Traveler. It's called Difficulty Paths of Valor. You can click on this guy. My head's in the way. Here, let me go to Camless. Here, give me 2 seconds here. That way you can see here. Oh, I guess I could just drag this up and over into the middle. You can still see my face because this is the money shot. The Hardened Traveler has 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's 9. So there's 9 levels of difficulty that you could change it to. You can also earn tokens of heroism, which I think are for anything beyond Fearless 1. You'll earn tokens. You can turn those tokens in. Then there's barter items. So you can get titles, special emotes, some other stuff. There's also a special title you can get if you start. You have to, but it's very specific. You have to start the quest when you're level 10. You can't be 11. You have to do it at level 10. And it's from 10 to 50. If you make it to level 50 and you never die while playing in a difficulty mode, if you make it all the way to level 50 without dying, you get a title. And then if you go from level 50 to level 130, you get another title. But you can't die the whole time. And you have to do it with the difficulty turned on. If you turn the difficulty off, it completely cancels it and you're shit out of luck. So no. Am I still on Laurelin? No, not with this character. Our kinship is on Laurelin, and I do keep keep the upkeep paid, but I don't play there for solo because of a variety of reasons. My brother and I started characters on Landroval many years ago, so this is the server I'm on right now with my solo characters is Landroval. Um, Whenever we swing around, we do community, because every couple of years we'll go play Lord of the Rings Online with our gaming community, or at least we used to. I haven't done anything this year because I got burned out last year, and I'm tired of doing it. I'm tired of running guilds with like 150 people. So this year I'm just doing my own shit for a change. But in the past, what we've done is every couple of years we'll go play Lord of the Rings Online with everybody. And whenever we do that, we've got the kin hall and we've got everybody set up so that we can just go play as a guild. Um, Ancient Entity asks, isn't Diablo Baldur's Gate-ish? No. It's definitely an action RPG. So you only have, is it 4 or 5 abilities? As opposed to Baldur's Gate, where it's a typical like top-down isometric RPG. I think the only similarities might be the top-down component because they both have that top-down view, but it's very much an action RPG versus Baldur's Gate, which is a just typical RPG with like turn-based or spacebar-based combat. Diablo being action combat, it's completely different. And also, this new Diablo is a blend of single player and multiplayer. So you're doing single player content, but you can also play it with your friends. You're playing it in an open world setting. So you're around other people, you're coming across other people. There's world bosses, kind of like Guild Wars 2. So you run around, there's world events, world bosses that you'll come across that you can participate in with other players, and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not typically a huge fan of ARPGs, but um, I had to make a decision between the the beta for Rogue Trader, which I really want to play because I love Owlcat games, but I'm limited on my expenditures, so it was either I'm either going to spend money on that and the new Alien game and the new Star Trek game, which are 3 great games that are out right now. They're all indie titles, or I could spend $70 on Diablo. And I had a long talk with Chris, and we were just analyzing traffic, and we were analyzing SEO, and we were analyzing strategy. And it's like, you know what? It's probably going to be better for the growth of the channel to go Diablo because I can probably do about 30 guides for Diablo, and it's a launched title. So, doing a beta of like Rogue Trader is great, but that information might change between now and launch. So it's pointless to make guides for it because it's not finalized. And then if I do an indie title like Star Trek Resurgence, that's great, but Star Trek Resurgence is a single player storyline RPG. So you get one shot. You can't make guides around that. There's no guides that you can do for a single player RPG like that because there's not a bunch of classes that you can play. So there's no class build videos, you can't do theory crafting videos, you can't do specs videos, or how to make a character creation videos, all that stuff. All that goes out the window with like a single player RPG. So from a channel growth perspective, Diablo 4 made the most sense to attempt, which I've never done before. I've never gone into a big game like Diablo 4 and done it from start and tried to make content around it. That's usually stuff that the big streamers, big guys with like 500,000 followers have, like Fet Gaming and all those guys. I'm not those people, but I would like to be those people someday, so we're going to attempt it and see what happens. Yeah, Ancient Entity. It's definitely, there's 5 classes. It's very action-packed, so, I mean, it's very fast-paced. But I find the story is very, very good, and it's Blizzard, so it has amazing cutscenes, it has amazing voiceovers, amazing music, amazing art. All that is like AAA top notch. I think it's worth the experience, if nothing else. And yes, it's new and hot, and theoretically it will provide my channel with good growth. You never know. It might be a hit and miss. I might do the videos and they only get like 30 to 50 views per video, which happens sometimes. You never know. My mainstays, surprisingly enough, like Star Wars: The Old Republic and Lord of the Rings Online still provide me with a reasonable amount of traffic despite the fact that they're older games. I'm very intrigued by Guild Wars 2 recently because I've done a couple of Guild Wars 2's videos and they've done fairly well. And I did the stream the other day, and it's like that might be something I might need to level up a character in Guild Wars 2 just to see what that would look like if I make, 4 or 5 guides around that. I also get great traffic when I do like Pillars of Eternity, Pillars of Eternity 2, but Deadfire. Solasta has done well for me. Like single player CRPGs do well for my channel, just my audience and stuff. All right, let's go in here and turn in here. Oh, I needed to send another message real quick. All right. All right. I'm checking some messages here, guys. I just sent some messages here. We should go into the tavern, though. There's music in the tavern. Hang on, let me go in there. That way you guys can listen to some music while I'm sitting here answering musics. Well, there used to be music. Why is there no music? Do I have music turned off? I have it turned down. There we go. I remember why I have it turned down, too, because the other day I went into a skirmish, and the music in skirmishes is obnoxiously loud. Hype can be tiresome, yes. I tend to buy things that for the most part, I tend to buy when I know I'm going to enjoy playing. But as I've tried to expand my channel to increase the income of the channel, I have started to be a little more strategic about my purchases. One, because I'm on a limited budget. Two, I'm on limited. There's only so many games I can play in a day, like I can't play everything that comes out. And so I'm starting, as the channel has grown, I'm starting to have to be a lot more picky about what I choose to play, because there's only so many videos that I can create in terms of guides. And if I want to turn this into a viable, the channel pays the bills now, let's just put it that way. But that's it. I don't make money on YouTube. I pay the bills with YouTube, and that's it. I'm a year and I started making money with this channel in February of 2022, so I'm a little beyond a year. I started doing this full time in March of last year. Um, I think our hope is that by the end of this year, or by the beginning of next year, by the time we get to the 2 year mark, the hope is that we'll actually be making money. And when I say making money, Chris and I hope that the channel is bringing in more than what we need for bills. But right now, it brings in enough to pay the bills after taxes. Some months we actually have to dip into our savings, so it actually doesn't quite pay the bills every month. Some months are good, some months are bad. But it is steady growth and has been very steady. There's fluctuations based on hot topics. So like when the OGL was happening in February, that was a hot topic. So January's traffic was very good, and we made good money. And I made like double what I normally make in January. Last year I had spikes because of the Rings of Power. So this year I implemented a content strategy on February 15th, and we have seen the channel go like this. It's been a pretty steady growth for the last 3 months. And I've had some videos like my Star Wars class guide, what class should I play? That's up to like 40,000 views, I think. So there's been, or maybe 30. It's either 30 or 40,000. So I've had a couple of videos now that have popped off that are guides. So I'm just continuing to stick to the guide format because it is working. But there's only so many hours in a day, and up until about a month ago, I was still also working part-time on the Weave in the Void project, which is our point-and-click tabletop and book series. Well, I finished all the tabletop stuff. I finished the book. I finished all the writing on the point-and-click game. So now I'm just waiting for my brother to do bug fixes and put more content into the point-and-click. The point-and-click is almost done. It was supposed to be ready for alpha testing at the beginning of June, but he's behind schedule now because he had to go help a friend build a house, and then he encountered some bugs that he's currently trying to work through fixing. But now that that's done, I have more time, so I'm putting more time into my channel, and the objective here is to, get it to the point where it's making double what we need for bills after taxes. So that's what I'm focused on now. So I do have to be strategic about what games I'm playing now to make sure that I'm going to get the income from the guide videos. Ancient Entity says, I've fallen prey to hype and reaped rewards from it. Recent big misses have made everyone take more of a step back. Yeah, I think a lot of people got burned, especially in MMORPG industries. Star Wars Survivor, I knew it would be good, so I bought it so I'd be able to beat it before it got spoiled for me. I knew it was going to be good too. And that was a game where I told Chris, I was like, more than likely, because it's a single player game, I said, I'm probably not going to make any money back from this, but I'll stream it and see what the live streams do. So I did a full, I did the whole stream. I just streamed that game the whole way through. I loved it. My Rings of Power commentary were initially I just subscribed, but that is awesome. Thank you. Zero Hammer says, guides have long-term value. Yes, they can. Which is interesting because what I started doing last year, I didn't pay attention to strategy. I was just like, I'm just going to publish videos around the things that I like, and, I'll stream a lot, and I'll stream my games. And, I saw growth, but I was also streaming 12 hours a day last year. And if you'll notice, I haven't been doing that this year. I stream 3 hours max, and it's not every day even. I stream 4 or 5 days a week. I try to stream as often as I can, but it's not every day. It's probably 5 days a week at most. And I'll stream for about 2 to 3 hours when I sit down to stream. So the days, I'm not going to sit here for 12 hours a day and stream. And the reason for that is because I did make a chunk of change last year streaming for 12 hours a day, but it's not for me, at least not where the channel is right now. Like, I had some good days last year where I was streaming and I made $200-300 in a day from super chats and memberships and everything else over the course of a day, and that's awesome and everything. But when you break it down from an hourly perspective, if I'm online for 10 hours and let's say I only make $50, well, I'm making $5 an hour. That's not worth it from a time perspective. For those 10 hours, I could make 10 guides right? Because it takes me about an hour to put together a guide video, and I will make 5 times the amount of money to 10 times the amount of money minimum doing guides because of the long-term value of that. So once I sat down and actually looked at the content strategy and everything else and actually started implementing that, the channel has gone much better. Because before I was just streaming whenever and playing all the time, and it was fine, but I understand why guys like Dr. Disrespect will sit there and stream for, 8, 12 hours a day. They're making $25,000 every time they sit down to stream. If I was getting paid $25,000 every time I sat down to stream, you can bet your ass I would sit here for 12 hours a day and fucking stream. But I'm not, so I don't. You never know. It might get there at some point.
How can I be of service? Oh, so much to do.
Alright, let's go talk to Strider upstairs. But our objective by the end of the year is to, we'll get the first objective is 10,000 followers. If we're on track, if we stay steady the way we've been, that's Gandalf's room. I went to the wrong room. I'll probably hit 10,000 followers by the end of July. Because I've been earning, I get about 400 to 500 subscribers every month. So we're at like 8,400 or something right now.
Your tidings are grim.
So I think by the end of July I'll have 10,000 followers. The next stage of that is to get to 100 members on the channel. I think we're at like 30 right now. I'm gonna go look real quick and I'll tell you guys where we're at. So here's the goal. It's 10,000 followers, 100 members, and $1,000 a month of reliable, and by reliable I mean if there's like 4 months in a row where the channel makes $1,000 a month every month for 4 months in a row, we will feel like we have accomplished what we set out to do with the channel. But I try, those of you who have sat here and watched me stream, I usually don't, yes, there's this stuff over here, like there's obviously the pop-ups, but I don't really do the shout outs. At the very end of the stream, I will remind everybody, hey, super chat, memberships, all that good stuff. And I definitely have it in my uploads, but I don't sit here and like, I don't like to do begathons, so I just stream, and if people can contribute, they can. But mostly, as long as people are getting value out of it, that's the most important thing. Because I've seen people who will stream and I saw somebody get upset one time because no one was donating to their stream, and they yelled at the chat like, you guys are all just sitting here, and I'm like, nah man, like that's not the way to do it. Like, come on now, that's crazy. We're getting sidetracked now, guys. Sir Homer says, I've been thinking about doing content creation, but I'm a private person and get burned out from socializing fast, like dorky things, and also job in IT. Tried to record my voice. That's a fun one. Like, Chris doesn't like to do it because of that fact too. She doesn't like the sound of her own voice. We are at 31 total members right now on the channel, which is awesome. So we've had pretty good growth because at the beginning of March we had 20 members, and then that's grown to 30 members over the course of April, May, a couple months. It's not bad. So we're on our way up to 100. I'd like to get to 100 by the end of the year.
Are you ready to leave?
Well, here, one tip I can give you, Zero Homer, because I guess I've always been a very outgoing. But the funny thing is I'm not an extrovert. In real life, I'm very much an introvert. Now, I had a public speaking career for many years, and my job has often, even before I started streaming, my job required me to be doing some form of public-facing, even when I had a construction company. Like, literally, I would print up business cards, and I would drive around on a Sunday afternoon, and I would just go to job sites and hand out business cards and meet people. And I don't like to do it, but I wanted to make money, so that's Joseph! By the way, everybody, Joe rebranded to Joseph Allen Miador. So, the first thing everybody needs to do is go check out. He had a new music video that dropped today. So go check out Joseph's new music video. And also he did some stuff recently with YouTube Shorts where he was doing his Obi-Wan Kenobi voice. So check it out. What is up, Joseph? 50 hobbitses. Moogene says I don't like the sound of my own voice, but I've gotten used to it over time. Yeah, that's the thing I was gonna get at for Zero Homer was it is a becoming used to public speaking is very much a trainable thing. It's like people who get into theater acting, and the first time you get on stage, you get butterflies in your stomach. That never goes away. The butterflies never go away. What you do get good at is learning how to ride that wave of anxiety. And if you can get past once you get past the first 10 minutes of anxiety, and the cotton mouth and the dry mouth and the cold sweats and everything else, um, you'll find that it's very entertaining to be on stage. However, as someone who is an introvert and private by nature, even though I'm capable of doing like 3 or 4 hours of, you know, being entertaining, I'm drained after 3 4 hours, which is why I like to stream for about 3 hours and then I'm done, because that's about all I can handle for the day. Because then after that, it's like I'm talking the whole time, my eyes get stressed. I'm sitting here in a chair 16 hours a day anyway. Um, there's also the thing of like, one of the reasons my hand is blown out is because used to I worked I squeezed sponges for a living for like 20 years, so that wrecked my tendons. And then playing MMORPGs and typing, I did 20 million words in print for clients around the world when I was as a full-time writer. And when you write for a living, it's very hard to also write for fun, because it's like I'm doing all this client work and now I want to try to build my own worlds and write my own books and build my own video games. And it can become very challenging to do that. Somebody just super chatted. Who did what? Joseph Alamieto said $10. Thanks for the shout out, amigo. May the force be with you, man. Thank you so much, Joseph. By the way, Joseph, I don't know if I feel like you probably haven't had time. I know you haven't had time, but I did a video for EverQuest 2 the other day where I showed off. It was a beginner's guide to um, housing in EverQuest 2, and I gave you a shout out in that video because anybody who hasn't ever done so, you need to go to our EverQuest 2 guild and log in, because Joseph did a lot of the work for putting together like the bar and a lot of the interior stuff in our guild hall in EverQuest 2. So spot on, man. Joseph also says, I feel like the key to recording your voice is being your authentic self. If you have to think about it or the way you think your voice sounds, it can ruin it. That's true. I mean, it's kind of like the stage thing. Um, um, I mean, the other way to think about it too, Zero, because you have those feelings about the way you think or the way you perceive that you sound or you look or you feel. Another way to get around that, and I have no idea if this applies to you, but I have worked with people in the past where it's very beneficial to think about becoming a character. So that character can have the same name. It can literally, that character can have the same name as your real name, but it can become a persona. And if you think about it that way, it's like, okay, I'm going to sit down to do a video, or I'm going to sit down to stream, or I'm going to get on stage, or I'm going to play music, or whatever the case would be. And when I get up on stage, when I turn on the camera, when I do this, that, or the other, I'm going to put on this cloak of invisibility, or I'm going to put on the suit, and I'm going to become that character. And that is something that can take a little bit of getting used to. But that's one way to consider it, or one way to potentially get past it, is to think about, I am not me. I am this forward-facing, and that's where some people will create they'll create different personas that don't even have the same name.
There is
Um,
evil afoot.
and then when they sit down to record a video, or whatever, they're not Tim Anderson. They are Renfail, and that's the thing. A lot of people have asked, why don't you just pick Renfail or Tim Anderson? I'm like, because Renfail is my gaming name. I just, it's what I used for my channel, everything else, because it sounds cooler than Tim Anderson. But I always introduce myself as, hey everybody, Tim Anderson here, aka Renfail. That's what I start off all my videos with, because I am one and the same, but also, I have done videos where I'm just Renfail, and those aren't very frequent, but I have done those before, where it's just I
Are
use
you
the
ready?
persona. I've actually strategically I've been attempting to do a few of those more recently with my guides, where I only use the Renfail persona to do the guides, just to see how they perform. Did he run off without me? He totally ran off without me. Well, what's funny is that actually, when I was younger, I used to do a lot of theater. And being a public speaker, you have to memorize long segments of text, and I've always enjoyed theater. I like getting on stage. I like being in front of people. But again, small bursts. I have a friend of mine. I haven't seen him in a while. He moved to the UK. I may need to adjust the volume here. A friend of mine who moved to the UK. He's definitely an extrovert. I remember we were doing a work project together. I think I need to turn the combat noise down a little bit. Combat sound volume. That might help with the... You guys can actually hear me when I'm talking. I'm watching the volume spike over here on the left. This is a new microphone, a new headset, so it's a little different from using Christina's since Lucas chewed up my other one. Buddy of mine, we're on a flight. We're working together. We're going out to Puerto Vallarta. It's like a 2-hour flight from Cancun. And, you know, I get nervous on planes. I'm a nervous flyer. I don't like heights.
Now.
And so I will do this when I get nervous. And so I just started talking. And I remember we were like 30 or 45 minutes, and he just made this subtle hint. He was like, you know, sometimes people who are extroverts, you know, if they get too much going on, it's like their batteries are being drained, and they just start to feel, you know, like they get a headache and get nauseous and everything else. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I was like, then I started like asking about stuff, and he was like, I remember there was something along the lines of, a few minutes went by, and he just was like, dude, that was a hint to maybe just chill out a little bit. And I was like, oh, that's a fair point. Totally, he's a good guy, but definitely, you know, had that extrovert moment. I need to hurry up and chase this guy down before he goes and gets himself killed. Joseph says, voice sounds in ones can sound different than the recorded sound. A mic close up on your voice can help, especially if you want to preserve some of its natural bass. Yeah, the NPC should be toned down now. I had combat sounds were turned up. That should be a little more easier on the ears now. The first game time was like, ooh. My extrovert is sponsored by loneliness and alcoholism.
Stay a moment.
Switching from narrator to characters is difficult stuff. I tend to read as a narrator voice. I'd have to really practice to do separate characters. You're not alone in this. It's a different microphone. I'll tell you what though, the headset is uncomfortable as all get These cans on my old Hyper, I mean, this is still a HyperX, but the cans on this one were super comfortable, and I'm hoping that I can actually repair this so that the microphone still works. Because honestly, these can't, I can wear these for 14 hours and never feel a thing. These ones, they're super tight, and just after about 3-4 hours, I've had enough. I bought them for Chris, but then when Lucas chewed my headset up the other day, I've been using these for about a week now. And I'm not going to go out and buy a new headset, because if I can repair the one I've got, I would much rather just use that. I don't like to just blow money. I've become very Mexican in that regard. I will try to repair things if I can instead of buying new.
It's a sorry day. It's a sorry...
The Nazgul have crossed the Eisen and are heading for the Shire. The hobbits must be quick-footed enough to escape the wrath of the Nine. And we can only hope that Frodo slips through the traps of the enemy.
I will probably go wireless, Mujin, whenever I do the next round of upgrades. So, I will run my equipment into the ground. I do not just go buy things because. So, for example, this laptop is about, I think it's coming up on 6 years old. I got almost 8 years out of my last laptop before it died. So, I'm hoping I can get roughly the same out of this one. So if I get another year or two out of this, I'll be happy.
What road did you take, Frodo? The ringwraiths ride openly in the Shire, but there are places which are even more terrible and dangerous. If you choose the path I fear, search for the light in the darkness.
Search for the light in the darkness. Chris's cans aren't comfortable as yours. Dun dun dun. So Chris and I have been talking. This office is, I mean, this was just our homestead, so we moved here and it's a process. So eventually, what I'd like to do is turn this into my office, and she wants to have we have another room, which is in between the kitchen and the living room. It's like I think it's meant to be the dining room because it has a half wall between it and the kitchen, but we just use it as a storage room. But the idea is Chris wants to have that as her like art studio and her own little private office. So long term, I think over the next couple of years, whenever I get around to upgrading everything and moving her into that office and everything else, that'll probably be the time when I go, because I'd like to get like a boom mic, like a boom arm and a boom mic, so that I can literally just wear a nice set of headsets and not deal with a headset mic. But that's, I'm not worried about it right now. Like, whenever I do that, I mean, I'll need to get a whole new rig and everything else. I mean, we're looking at, spending $5,000 whenever the time rolls around. So whenever that happens, I'll probably end up going wireless at that point. Yes, and soundproofing, because this room is not soundproof. So one of the issues is I have a snowball mic from years ago, which works really well. However, this room is not soundproofed, and it doesn't have the echo in here, and if I'm using an open mic, the echo is obnoxious because it's literally just concrete block walls. Like if I pan up, that's just a concrete block wall that's been painted. It probably looks funky on this, but it's like a green wall, and that's a white wall. It's just concrete block wall with plaster over it. And so the acoustics in this room are not good enough for an open mic. I would need to put padding over everything and actually turn this into like a sound booth. And I don't want to do that until we like insulate the house and get this to where it's actually comfortable, because it's too fucking hot in here during the afternoon stuff. So, long-term stuff, man.
What can I do for you?
Alright, I actually don't want to do these quests, and I came out here by accident, so we're going to hold off on that. Let's go back to Bree.
What can I do for you?
Fuck, I can't, because I haven't ridden to South Bree yet. Alright. some manual riding around. Where do I go from here? Oh, this is the side gate to Bree. I've changed countries a few times. It can be a little scary, but the hardest part's always going to be visas. You know, once you get your visa stuff down, it is no different living in another country, especially if you're in a big city. There might be some initial culture shock as you get used to whatever is the culture that you're going to. I think you mentioned Israel earlier. You know, there were a lot of things I had to get used to when I moved to Bulgaria. There was things that I had to get used to in Colombia. Definitely a lot of things I had to get used to in Mexico. But I've found that once you get past the cultural things, there's usually a couple months where you're getting accustomed to things. Once you're past all those things, it's just a language barrier. And if you don't have a language barrier, once I learned how to speak Spanish, like I feel no different living here than I've felt living in like the U.S. You know, it's just a different place to live. You know, I very much view the world as as you know, there's no. I think I like the way the astronauts look at it from. They talk about how when you look at the planet from space, there are no boundaries. Those are just imaginary lines that governments put there to control people. And if you think about it that way, it's just one big planet. Who cares where you live, you know? But because of the politics that are in place, it does make it tricky sometimes in terms of getting to another destination. Uh-oh, did we just crash, or is it the server? That was the server. Bree is being cranky. Insulating is more important for the late hours of the day, better than sandpaper when the weather is like the twin suns of Tatooine. Dude, I couldn't agree with you more, man. I am so ready to get this place insulated. There's a lot of stuff we need to do. Southern Europe would be great. I love Italy and Spain. If I had to pick a place to live, like if I was allowed to pick, I'm gonna ask Chris her opinion on this question, because her answer might be different than mine. Give me a second here, guys. Chris said between Ireland and Spain, she would choose Spain simply because she speaks Spanish. So, but also Spain. We both liked Spain a lot. We spent quite a bit of time in Spain working. Spain has great food, great culture. Barcelona is one of the coolest cities I've been to in the sense that it's a coastal city. It's got some of the best food you've had in the world. They've got some amazing markets. It has one of the best public transportation systems I've ever seen. There's an actual app, and it's tied into the metro, train, rail, and bus system. So you can literally get on the app or on the website, and it has everything is on time, scheduled. It's very punctual. You can get an all-in-one multi-pass that allows you to use any of the transportation options. The weather in Barcelona is very nice. Great cheese, great olives, fresh fish from the Mediterranean. You've got fresh wine, fresh champagnes. Barcelona and Costa Brava, like France is just across the border. Italy is just an hour away via flight. I really liked the Costa Brava region of Spain, like Barcelona, Girona. I think if I had to, Chris would pick Spain. I would probably pick Ireland. I really, really, really liked Ireland out of the places that I've been to. I thought that the food was not my favorite part of Ireland, but the views. And they have the best butter and milk I've ever had in my life. But the beef was okay. The food is not the reason though I would choose Ireland. Ireland has folk legends and mythology and magic and stone cairns and Celtic mythology and like all this stuff that I like on a personal level. But if I had to pick a place for culture and food, I think I would agree with Chris. I would choose Spain. I liked Spain a lot, but I have a preference for the Mediterranean. So my favorite place that I've ever visited was Italy. I love Italy. The food, the culture, the people. I love Italy a lot. Israel's pretty volatile. It can be. Bulgaria was nice. I spent a lot of time traveling to Bulgaria, and I lived in Bulgaria. If I had to pick a city, I don't know how it is these days, but Varna was pretty nice. Varna was a lot of fun when I used to visit there. It's on the sea, so you've got the coastal stuff. But the thing about Bulgaria that I loved is not only does it have really great food, you've got kashkaval, you've got yogurt. The yogurt in Bulgaria is, it's the birthplace of yogurt, right? But the food in Bulgaria is amazing. But wine, so many people don't know this. Like, Bulgaria has 6,000-year-old vineyards. They've also got the Rhodope Mountains, which are that's where the Oracle of Greece lived, and the Oracle and the myths and legends, and so it's right on the border with Greece. So you've got just these amazing mountain ranges that are completely undeveloped and just flatlands that are just full of sheep and cattle and it's great seafood in Bulgaria. And the tomatoes, oh man. But Greece is really good as well, but the economy kind of sucks. But I just like the Mediterranean. I like the food, I like the culture. But Chris is saying Spain, so I think I would have to say Spain as well. Muji said if I had money, I would do soundproofing, but for now I use filters. I just use filters as well on my mic right now. And that's the thing is we did a budget analysis the other day, and it's I think we estimated we need about $5,000 to finish the renovations on the house. So the insulation is actually one of the last things we'll do. The first thing is we got to get the wall built to keep the flooding from happening since we're at the bottom of the hill. So that's what we're saving up for now is that. After that, we got to fix the roof, which is just a concrete slab, but there's some cracks. It doesn't really leak, but when it rains for 4 days in a row, we have a couple of spots where it'll drip very slowly, and it's coming down through cracks and stuff over the years. So we need to seal the roof. We need to insulate. Probably the entire exterior of the home needs to be insulated with some sort of exterior insulation. We have to do all that. Then we need to finish the landscaping. We want to build an outdoor patio and an outdoor kitchen in the back. So we gotta. The office is the last thing, because honestly, no one's ever gonna be able to tell unless they watch my homesteading channel, because I just sit here in front of a green screen. Zero Homer says, any tips? I pilfered 10-year-old Blue Yeti from my brother. Yeah, I don't know. I have to live where I live, but I don't want to move my stuff in the basement because it gets wet down there. Yeah, that's the thing with my mic. the blue one I have, Zero Homer, is it picks up everything. But that's the thing with for example, on Streamlabs, there is a filter you can set which will filter out background noise. That will help immensely in helping your microphone not pick up everything. Because mine, the way it is a default setting is if Chris opens the door, you hear the door opening. If a cat yawns, you'll hear the cat yawn. You know, so you have to set up filters and stuff like that. And yes, the Mediterranean cuisine is amazing. No, we do not have. So we live in a small town, and it is a public water source. I would not drink the water here. We will use it to boil vegetables and stuff, but we use big, like we call them garrafones, but you know the big, like, what are they? How many liters are those? 20. It's a 20-liter bottle. It's like what you would see in like an office. It's a big bottle of water. It's filtered water. So that's what we use for drinking water. We could dig our own well, but we don't. We just have the city water, but it's treated water, so I don't want to drink that. Where Ancient Entity lives in Missouri, I think you can. I think he was saying the other day. I think you said you had an artesian well on your property or nearby. Those you can drink from. Like, that's crystal water, man. That's good stuff. Mineral water. That was one of the things I loved about Italy and Bulgaria and the Mediterranean. Like I remember in Sofia, when I lived in Sofia, like there's literally, and this is the same thing in Italy, pretty much all the town centers have it's an always turned on, but it's a mineral tap. So it's a spout, and it's always on, and there's just mineral water constantly coming. You can drink straight from it. People come and they fill up containers and they take the containers home, and that's their drinking water because it's fresh mineral water. Digging that hole sucked, though. Yeah, I bet it did, Ancient Entity. Digging in southern Missouri with rocks. Yeah, buddy. Alright, let me get sidetracked here. I gotta turn in a quest.
Greetings.
Alright, we've turned in that. Wait, it's the same dude? No, we have to talk to somebody else. Apparently I can't jump over that because they have a collider thing set up. Where's the dude that I need to talk to? I think he's up the street a little bit. Alright, this dude's up the road a couple paces. There he is.
How can I be of service?
Alright, I think the only thing we have left to do here is the burglar quest, which is Adso's camp. You know, it's going to be really interesting to see where graphics cards are when I finally upgrade. Because when I bought this laptop, it has a 1080 in it. And when I bought this laptop, the 1080 was like the top of the line. Like 6 months after I bought this laptop, the 2070 came out, and then it's just gone from there. Like, what is it, 4090's out now or something? I'm going to be very interested to see where the latest graphics cards are by the time this thing finally bites the bullet. What's up? Chris is looking like she needs to ask me a question. Why did you pick Spain? Why? What was your favorite part about Spain? Huh? She just said Barcelona, which is funny because she was taking a shower when I asked her. She's in the room now. She just said Barcelona was what she loved about Spain. Other than you froze when we got there, because we got there in March, and you were like, "Oh my God, it's so cold." No, and like 2 weeks after that, it's only cold for a couple months out of the year. I'd say Barcelona is probably one of the coolest cities I've been to for sure. I like Rome a lot. But the problem with Rome is it's hot as fuck in the summertime, and it's super expensive because of it's a capital city. I do like Rome a lot. Rome and London. I like big cities. Like Rome is fun. I like London. I loved living in Mexico City. Like Mexico City was a lot of fun to live in. But the earthquakes sucked, and the smog was not so cool. The earthquakes really sucked. Alright, I've never done this quest before, so I actually have to pay attention to this. What? Did you just wake Lucas up? Poor Sam, he got all hot again. I think he's finally cooled down. Yeah. He ate food though, right? You gave him lunch, and then he went and hid in the corner because he's like, "It's too hot out here." Chris said she found. I'm sure you saw a minute ago. I brought Sam in. He was over my shoulder. Sam was like literally curled up in the corner of the bathroom floor, like in the corner of the shower stall, where like the block walls are cool because he was so hot. He didn't ask to come back in there. Usually he'll ask to come back in, but he went out and ate, and then he just went in the bathroom and didn't ask anything. But usually, so I had to bring him back in here because he gets hot. So he's passed out again. Bubbling, it says I love big cities. Hell yeah, I love cities. I like cities because of the food and the culture. So there's usually lots of stuff to do. Like you say, more adventure hooks. There's always like a museum or a theater. I like the theater. I like going to the theater a lot. And that's probably because when I was a kid, I did a lot of theater. It's the one great disappointment in my life is that I never pursued acting as a career because I did it when I was young. I did a lot of theater when I was young, into my teenage years. But then just because of the way life is, getting kicked out at a young age and being forced to pay rent and all these other things when I was, 16 years old, I didn't get to do the things that I wanted to do. I had to do the things I needed to do to survive. And I actually, when we were I remember talking to Chris about this like 3 months ago. Or not 3 months ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, when we were still living in Mexico City. There's a huge, they film movies all the time, and like where we lived, we were right by the American Embassy, so there was like every day they were like renting out the hotel across from us or the restaurant down the street or whatever for film shoots. Mark Wahlberg was there, and Keanu Reeves. It's like we're constantly seeing Hollywood movie stars in Mexico City because they're always filming things on location down there. And I had a lot of thoughts about trying to get into acting while I was living there, but what I didn't want to do is I was like, you know what? I'm almost 40. I do not want to go stand in a cattle call, line for 4 hours to go in front of a casting director. I was like, I'm too old for that shit. Like, if I was 20 years old and hungry and like, you know what I mean? Like hungry. If I was 20 years old and hungry, yeah, I'd go stand in a line for 4 hours and do a cattle call with 1,000 other people and, try to get some small gigs. But at like 40 years of age, I was like, I have no desire to go stand in line for 4 hours and hope that I can get a role. I was like, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Yes, Babylonia. Better food, music, everything right down the street. I love big cities, man. Zero Homer says, I'm a native to Moscow. It's exhausting to live in a big city. Now that most of my funds fled the country, which is no mistake there's nothing but despair for me. That's a fair point. Like, I will say that yes, food. So one of the reasons Chris and I moved, I did not want to move. I did not want to leave the city, but I will say this: we were there for 4 years, and I loved it. Um, Before that, we were in Cancun for 8 years. Cancun was nice. It's too fucking hot, and I will say this: as fun as Cancun was, after you've been to the beach or beaches, after you've been to the beaches every day for 2, 3 years, you've seen the beaches. Like, after 8 years, it's like, I'm ready for something different. I never felt that after 4 years of Mexico City because the city was so big. Like there was always something to see and somewhere to go and something to do. But here's the thing: the despair terminology is important here because COVID hit when we moved there, like right after we moved there, a couple of years after we were there, and everything shut down, and that became a hellhole. All right, see you, Ancient Indy. Go make burgers, have fun, have a good evening. Good to see you again. Thanks for the membership upgrade, by the way. I appreciate it. When COVID first hit, I had to stop going to the gym because they closed all the gyms down. All the restaurants shut down. All the theaters shut down. Everything shut down, like everything. So it's literally like the only thing we could do was go to the grocery store and come home. There was nothing else to do. Everything was closed down. And you spend 2 years during a pandemic living in a little one-bedroom apartment. And yeah, you're in an amazing part of downtown Mexico City and everything else, but there was like 18 months where we couldn't do anything because everything was shut down other than the supermarkets. And it very quickly became this thing of like, Chris had these little birds that became like her obsession out on our tiny little balcony where the water heater was out back behind the kitchen, because that was the only wildlife we could see, and it was the only spot where we could see the sky was this tiny little balcony out our back door. We were on the second floor of this apartment building, and we couldn't go to any of the parks because all the parks were shut down. Like, it was 18 months of like, it felt like you were living in a prison cell because the only place you could go was the supermarket. And as cool as the city was, it was not cool for those 18 months. And so when the opportunity came to buy the house in the countryside, it was like, you know what? It's way too fucking hot for me. I don't like the heat, but I'm not going to, it is what it is. But here, we're close to Christina's family. You could go anywhere. Even if Mexico City was having a pandemic right now, this is a small town with only like 30,000 people. Ain't nothing shutting down here. Like, we can walk, what is it, 10 minutes to the edge of town, Chris? Like, we can walk 10 minutes, if that, and we're at the edge of our town, and it's just rolling hills and cows and rivers and Mayan ruins and forests. It's like, so I can walk 10 minutes and that's right outside my back door. So, there is a freedom to living outside of a city that I never appreciated until I was locked in a small apartment during 18 months of this pandemic. Because I got really tired of just staring at concrete walls all the time. Whereas here, like last night we went sat outside for, 2 or 3 hours. We took a walk and then we came home and sat. And it was hot, it was 96, 97 degrees at like 6 o'clock at night. But we sat and we had some lemonades and sat outside and took a walk, and we're outside till I think about 8. That was when I was like, you know what, the mosquitoes are starting to eat me alive, so I got tired of the mosquitoes and I came inside. But I'm closing this down. I'm not going to do any quests, everybody, because I'm enjoying talking to you all, and we're 2.5 hours in, which means we're approaching me eventually winding down, so I'm not going to do any more quests. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my feet up. I'm in my shorts, but I'm going to put my feet up on my... There's no cats in this chair right now, so I can talk to you guys a little more comfortably. Mosquitoes suck, and they're everywhere. Yes. I don't like mosquitoes. And here we also have what we call chequistas, which are midge flies, I think is what they are in the U.S. In English, I think they're called midge flies or gnats. But they're like mosquitoes. They bite you, but they leave like a. They'll make you bleed. Like mosquitoes won't make you bleed. Like a mosquito, you get a bite and you have a red bump. The Chakistas, they make you bleed. Like they'll bite you and it's like, oh shit, and then you look down and it's like you got a little blood spot, and then it, you know, it's nasty for about 4 or 5 days. And then where Ancient Entity lives, which is where my brother lives, and that's where we go visit every once in a while. They have ticks and chiggers. Everyone knows what ticks are. Many people don't know what chiggers are. So chiggers are a really annoying little microscopic bloodsucker, and they're way worse than ticks because you can't see them. They're worse than mosquitoes. They're worse than anything, man. Mosquitoes you could see, and you can kind of deal with mosquitoes with bug spray and candles and tiki torches and stuff. Are you okay if I put you on camera for a minute? Are you okay if I turn the camera? So I want to show you guys because I'm gonna turn the camera because Smeagol is in the corner and he moved over and he's just like completely stretched. There's Chris. Say hi. Smeagol like sprawled out over there in the corner. He's just. Is Lucas? No, you can't see Lucas from here. Little cat mode, everybody. Oh, well. Tomorrow is going to be a long day. I'm going to try to... Oh, horseflies. Yeah, I forgot about horseflies. We have those in Missouri. I know they have them here, but I haven't seen them. I know they exist, but I haven't seen them. But when I grew up on the farm in Missouri, we definitely had horseflies all the time. All right, folks. Tomorrow, in the morning, we have... Let's see here. I think I have 3 videos already scheduled to go for tomorrow. I do. First thing in the morning at 6 a.m. Central Time, we have Knights of the Old Republic talking about, is that game still worth playing in 2023? Then at 8 a.m. Central Time, we're talking about Life is Feudal, which was an MMO that was canceled back in 2021. It's under new ownership, and apparently it is being relaunched into early access with a paid subscription to access it, which sounds silly. And then at 10 a.m. Central Time, we have The Lord of the Rings Appendix A Part 8, talking about Durin's Folk, in the latest episode of Mondays in Middle-earth. Then tomorrow, I will be recording during the day. I will be recording Thursday's episode of Decoding Dune, which is going to be Chapter 4 of Dune by Frank Herbert. And then other than that, I don't know that I'm going to record any other videos. I'm probably going to take it easy tomorrow and just kind of rest up and try to be prepared for the afternoon launch of Diablo 4. So again, I will not be streaming tomorrow afternoon, early afternoon. Like I usually do a stream at like 11 a.m. to noon for a couple hours, and then I come back and do something in the afternoon for a couple hours. If I stream tomorrow night, depends on the internet, but if I do, it'll be late night. It'll be like 9 o'clock Central, because I'm going to be playing the first few hours of Diablo, just myself recording the footage to get stuff done. So hopefully I'll see all of you tomorrow night. I would like to say thank you so much to everybody who hung out today. Thanks to Druga. I'm going to scroll up here. I think it said 10 months for Druga. Druga has been a supporter for 10 months as a member, which is awesome. So thank you so much for that, Druga. Thanks to Ancient Entity for upping himself to the max level here of membership, which is our guild champion tier, which means I got to redo my shout out videos tomorrow. So I got to put that down that I need to do that. Mujin says, I think I'm going to hold off on D4. I was going to hold off until Chris convinced me to do it for the purposes of strategic content generation for the channel. Otherwise, $70 that's a big price tag, man. It really is. Knights is always worth playing, says Zero Homer. It is. Here's the thing. I also have Knights of the Old Republic 2 loaded up because I'm going to do a video around that one. And I haven't actually replayed. I've never replayed Knights of the Old Republic 2 since it originally came out. I played it once all the way through. I remember doing a replay, but I don't know that I ever finished the second replay, but I have not played KOTOR 2 since it came out. So more than likely, at some point this summer, I am going to do a full playthrough of KOTOR. This summer or this fall. We'll see. Oh, I also noticed when you said you survived COVID in the country house, best seasons of my life. Yeah, man. If you be in the countryside, there's nothing. My brother and I were always talking. He's always giving me shit because they have a big property in Missouri with the woods and the forest and the fields and the rivers and the creeks and everything. And I was like, every day he's showing me videos of the kids going out and playing in the forest and riding horses, and I'm like stuck in my little apartment in Mexico City. I was like, no. I'm not either, Mujin. If you've noticed, I only buy one game a month right now. My YouTube channel does not bring in enough income for me to splurge, so I have to be very strategic about where I spend my money. I can afford like one game a month, and that's about it. You know, there's also no reason for me to buy 5 games when I don't have time to play 5 games. Especially when games are $70, it's like that's a chunk of change, you know. So, I think like March was buying all the stuff that we needed for Starfinder. That was like $85. And then May was Jedi Survivor. No, April was Jedi Survivor. March was Starfinder. April was Jedi Survivor. What did I buy in May? I bought something in May. What was the game I bought in May that I played? Do you remember? Oh, I resubbed to Star Wars: Old Republic for 3 months, which was like $40 or something. I think that was my May purchase, and then June was, which I bought it in May, but the end of May. But my June purchase was Diablo. KOTOR on Steam may have some lost content. Yeah, I don't know. I got mine through GOG years ago, so I don't know if it's got anything in it that wasn't in there at launch or not. What I have installed right now is what's up, Smeagol? You just wake up squinting at us. I also got to wrap up Pathfinder Kingmaker at some point. And I have Conquest of the Longbow installed, which is an old point and click, but I haven't played it in a while. Yeah, I have Pillars of Eternity 1, Pillars of Eternity 2, but I only have those installed because I'm making guides around those. Star Wars: Old Republic because I play that all the time. Lord of the Rings Online because I play that all the time. Pathfinder Kingmaker, Scholastic Crown of the Magister, which at some point... Oh yeah, that's the other one I got to get around to doing because Palace of Ice launched a few days ago. So I need to probably play that at some point. Clear that content. Alright. Also, thanks to Joseph for the super chat today for $10. Appreciate it. It was good to see you, Joseph. Everybody also should go over and follow Mujin's channel. Mujin and I are playing Star Wars: Old Republic. What we were doing on Thursdays, but that day might change. Didn't we say Tuesday, Mujin? I'll ping you on Discord because I think we said Tuesday, and I'll need to. I did not put that on my calendar, so I'll need to confirm that and put that on my calendar. Tuesdays. All right, let me put that on my calendar right now because I will forget. What is that clicking sound that I hear every once in a while here at this camp? Tuesday, create event, Star Wars tour, add time. Oops, that's supposed to be on Tuesday, not Monday. What's up, Smeagol? You coming over to say hi? You ready for breakfast? Are you ready for lunch? What time is it? 4 o'clock. He's probably ready for dinner. Where did he go? This is what happened yesterday. He sat behind me and cried, and when I rolled back, I accidentally rolled over the tip of his tail. What's up, buddy? Give me 5 seconds, Smeagol. I'm wrapping up my stream, then we can go get some food. So anyway, go follow Mujin's channel too. Help him get bigger so he can buy more games. Because it's never a bad thing to buy more games. Alright, I am going to go take a little bit of a break, and then I've got Minecraft with my niece and nephew and my brother in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So, hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow night for the Diablo 4 launch. If I don't, if my internet's shit for some reason, I'll be back. As always, I stream based on the internet gods and when they allow me to. So as long as the internet's good, I'll be doing something sometime. And then June is going to just be all about the things we're already doing. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, other things, and lots of Diablo game guides. And then beyond that, I don't have any objectives for July yet. It's going to depend on how June warps up. I do know that Baldur's Gate 3 is August, the end of August. And then we have Starfield in September. So my September and October, probably September, October, November into December are going to be packed. Because all I'm going to be doing is doing like guides for Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3. It's just going to be streaming those two games and doing guides around those two games for like the end of the year. But I have we have a gap of like what's happening in July. We do, Mujin. We absolutely do. And we will. The month of July and the month of August, because Baldur's Gate 3 launches at the end of August. So those 2 months, I don't know. I don't have any releases that I can think of that I need to play or want to play. But I'll wait and see. You never know. I don't know what's coming out on Game Pass those months either. May the rain gods grace us? Yes, because this is supposed to be rainy season and we have no rain. And it's up to 41 degrees next week, so I would love rain. It would be nice. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate the support. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out and keeping me chatting for a couple hours. I think we're at 2 hours and 45 minutes now, so. Mujin says he would love rain as well. It would be nice. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Can I drink tonight? I can drink tonight, can't I? We took some pills yesterday morning for our 6-month anti-parasite rounds, so I didn't have any alcohol last night, but I can have alcohol tonight, so I think I'm gonna go. Yeah, we dewormed all the cats on the day before. Friday we dewormed all the cats, and then Saturday we took our dewormer. And today's Sunday. I'm gonna go make a margarita, everybody. So see you tomorrow. Have fun, guys. Have a good evening.